So I was going to ask you a messy question, but this whole thing about Southern and British being connected, it feels way more interesting. So, huh?
Well, it does. I don't know whose TikTok this was, but this woman, it was a black woman. She
Yeah.
was talking about the connection between like a British accent and a Southern accent, and she did like this change with her own voice. And I was like, holy crap, that works. Also, it explains why Emma Frost was definitely born in the South, but also decided to adopt a fake British accent.
So, as as an unfortunate uh, involuntary Brit, I have.
Involuntary.
I was just. This is where I spawned at. Like
Yeah.
I turned up. I was like, okay, bees, fine. And I've just been kind of rolling with it ever since. But I have. I would love to see that. I don't know. Now, somebody did a similar thing between like Irish accents and Jamaican accents, and I saw that shit immediately.
Yeah.
So I'll wait to be convinced.
Okay. I'll send that through. I'll send that to you, and I'll and you'll see that I'm for real. I saw this on TikTok and it worked.
Yeah.
So
Okay. All
yes.
right. All right. All right. All right. Nice. Welcome. Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Steph. Welcome to X of Words. X of Words ish plants in ting.
We're in Storm. You're in Storm's attic. We talked about this. You're up there. She is away for the weekend. She packed her overnight bag. We
Yep.
don't know who she went to see. That's her business. We have no idea. I won't speculate, right? But she left and she said,
Actually, no.
"Okay,
We have to speculate. It's Craig.
yeah, okay,
Craig from NASA.
okay."
Because I felt like he's one of the better options. Like, because if we leave that vague, he could be. There could be a nah. Yeah, Craig.
I think so. I just feel like she has a whole entire roster on Mars. That's like a low because they have some interesting power sets. So do that with what you will. Our girl likes to do some things. She survived Claremont in the Extreme X-Men arena, so there's a little tentacle here, a little hoof here, a little fur there. You know,
I,
and Storm can do it. Who's gonna
she
challenge her?
could.
You know,
Exactly. And I'm
because
just
I can tell
here.
you what she not going. She isn't going to Wakanda right now because her ex-man, is running around living on the streets. Is what I heard. He's
Oof.
living in the stratos. He is
Oof.
staying in an
And what
abandoned
you
building
would,
somewhere. Uh-huh.
because what you would know is he needed him $10 to buy a medium-sized pizza. So,
Because Storm. T'Challa is definitely giving blow up mattress right now. And there's nothing wrong with that. He might
it's
even have a mat. Don't know because
Rumspringa.
he is roughing it right now. And I just don't know if the back shots are worth it. You know,
Ooh. I,
they could. Because it might be because it's vibranium, so it could, right?
I feel like they would. In
You know
fact,
what? As I
it
think
might
about
make it
this
better.
more,
It might make
yeah, as I
it
think
better.
about it more, you're right. Actually,
Uh,
take that back, rewind.
yeah.
I think the back shots would be worth it, but he has to have on a vibranium cock ring.
Well.
So,
Whoa. Wait.
so
Sorry.
sorry. Yes.
Ah. Nah, because the thing is you can't peak like that. So now that we've said vibranium cock ring, where do we go?
I don't even know where we go from here.
Hmm?
Now
You
I'm
build
thinking of
stories.
the,
You build stories. You gave us our peak in the first 4.5 minutes. How do
but
we?
you know why?
Yeah.
Because if I didn't, then it'd be like, oh, this is slow. See what
True.
happens when you come out the gate hot? There's nothing else to build to. It's
That's
only
true.
downhill from here. So now y'all gotta deal with subpar storytelling because I gave it
Okay.
all.
Okay. All
I
right.
even did a feat in the first page. So now here we are.
Oh, not feats. Now I've got an episode coming out about feats. Not those.
Please use the Holly Bailey audio from The Little Mermaid, which is like, what are these called? Because that sent me when I was in the movie theater. Absolutely loved it, but I just thought it was like I can see this being used as a really funny meme because everybody loves to show feet on the timeline without getting paid, which I don't understand.
Oh, I thought you meant feats. Like
Oh, I
comic
do mean
feats.
feats. I do mean comic feats, but you can kind of interchange and
Oh,
choose
look at
that
this,
verb.
isn't it? Yeah, I get it.
See? A little duality there. Yes.
That's why the writer. All right, okay, all right. We can do this. Welcome, hi everybody, to an episode of X of Words. I am Ashley, and I am on video. Hi, ho, I don't know. This is the kind of stuff that I can usually edit out, but now here it is. Here we are. Welcome. Today with me, I have Steph Williams, scientist, comic historian, byline baddie, comic creator, Creative 100 2023, a reckless vibranium usage consultant.
Oh yeah.
And you can still follow Steph at Steph I Will. That's STEPH_I_WILL. Say hi.
Hello. This is why I got kicked out the door, Melage, because I was like, you know what? I actually want to, open my own side business of reckless vibranium usage. So this is where I am. Yeah.
RVU. I like it. It. I'm actively trying not to think about it though, because I think that's the way to.
I'm so sorry. Okay, we're okay.
It's the path. No, it's
here.
the path. It's the path to sin.
Yeah, it is, and we're running towards it. I know.
Okay, so we have got a bunch of questions. This is a special episode, so it's lovely to speak to you. It's been lovely to speak to you, and we're going to get some of this on wax. So today's question, which is pretty broad, and we're going to split it into some little pieces to make it a little bit more manageable. But today's question is, I forgot the fucking question. How do fans feed back to creators? That's it.
Oh, that is a doozy.
Yeah.
And I picked it willingly like a fool, but here I am.
No. I mean, I think you've probably got the most perspective on this one. So I was actually really, really happy when you picked this one because I was like, there's probably nobody better to speak about it.
Well, I appreciate that. We'll see. We'll see how this goes.
No, I have faith. Everything you've won my faith through books, so I have faith here too.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So, I'm not going to do any timers, but we are going to go question to question.
All right.
So, how about I kick us off? Right. The first one, actually, no. This is the surprise. Let me give you a surprise. I said this, and then Steph had to humor me for a very long time. But essentially, basically, we talk a lot about creators and how they should get their flowers and how social is not a great place for them to do that. So I was like, actually, maybe what I could do is have a little section where I give you your flowers. So I asked people from Patreon to send you any letters that they had for you. So there's a couple of messages that people have written that I'll read now.
Oh my God, yes. Okay, this is a delightful surprise. Okay.
Okay, so there is a message from Lance F, who is lovely, and just said, Steph, all caps, exclamation. I've loved all your work, and I'm so glad that you have gained such a big following. I cannot wait for you and this interview. Oh my God.
Thank you, Lance.
Second one is Willie Middlebrooks, the third. Trey drew that on Instagram.
All right.
Funny traveler, love Trey down. Dear Steph Williams, imagine this one with a quilt. He's got a little afro.
I am. Okay. I'm visualing right now.
He's refined. He works in the library, so we had to kick this off right. I've been rocking with you since the MKUA podcast days.
Oh my God, yeah.
When you correctly dragged artists for giving Misty Knight an afro with a relaxed bayang. In parentheses, how dreadful. Your series, Living Heroes, gave me all the feels. It was the black girl slice of life that I'd always wanted, and as far as I'm concerned, it is canon. Nubia has given a great character the elevation and stewardship that she deserves. The new Nightshade is a star. More of her, please. And thank you for putting Tilda's earlier criminal activities in a more nuanced context, and for showing a family reunion with the custom t-shirts.
Yes, thank you, Trey.
It's those kind of details that I appreciate most about your writing. You bring an authentic and unambiguous blackness to your stories. Also, your characters feel lived in. It feels like when they lead interesting lives, even when they're not on the page, which makes me invest more in their and your stories. My biggest wish is for you to write an ongoing Storm. Your story with Storm and the Scarlet Witch absolutely blew me away. After I read it, I immediately started doing fan art of Storm's ancestors. And because now we can do video, I'll throw a couple of these up on the screen
Yes.
so everyone can see. Yeah, I know you can give Miss Monroe the depth that we as Black readers often confer onto her outside of the page, but is rarely presented on panel. In summation, you slay, and I hope you continue writing comics as long as you want to. You are the future of this medium. So, until the Black heroes of Marvel decide to try Jessica Jones's potato salad, make mine Steph Williams. Trey.
Thank you, Trey.
And then they are quite long, but there's only two more. So there's Khalid, who said, "Hi, Steph. I hope you and your family are doing well."
Thank you.
Totally new tone. I doubt you'll have much memory of me, but we've had a few interactions on the Bird app. I hope this doesn't come across as too familiar and that you receive all this as I intend. I feel very lucky to have been around to watch you step into yourself. Your pen drips with empathy, perspective, and heart. I'm excited every time I open a book and step into a world you've imagined. From Living Heroes to Parenthood Activated to the Nubia Saga, what I love most about your writing is the totality of your characterizations. From the lead to the smallest of the players in the cast, you feel the care with which you've stitched them together. Thank you for pushing us to reflect on their place in the comic universe and your world beyond it. I've followed your career from early on, back when you were actively traumatizing the timeline with Justice League memes, getting scammed by fake conventions, and puzzling over Aurora's silk press regimen. Watching your presence, art, and resume grow over the years has been affirming to me in ways I hope I'm managing to relate in this text. Suffice to say that you are who I hold up as my goal in my creative career. I deeply appreciate you for not just your stories, but also the inspiration you've offered up to me watching you birth your dreams in the industry. And then there's a little bit about the support that you probably didn't know that you gave him. Apparently, a few years ago, I was struggling financially to live my life and finish my PhD. My only option was to turn to crowdfunding. When I built up my courage to ask for your help, you were one of the first people I thought to reach out to, off of nothing more than a few friendly interactions and exchange jokes. You shared my posts with your followers. I chased that goal studying for years and only made it past the finish line because you helped carry me there. I have a PhD now, largely because of your kindness. Thank you again.
Trying to get some thug tears up out of me with this on camera. I don't appreciate it, but thank you so much.
I'm sorry.
I think the next one I think the dam might break. She's holding on.
Okay, all right, I'll pace it. I can't wait to see where else you go. I'll be cheering your every success on. Best, Carladen, also Perp on the apps.
Thank
PS.
you,
Yes. And then the last one is from Scotty. Hello and thank you for taking the time to chat with Ash. He's done a job of building and curating a community here, and I'm excited for the episodes. A little while back you wrote a super fun project called Living Heroes. A lot has changed for each of those characters since you wrote it, especially for Aurora.
Yes, her.
Mm-hmm. If you were writing the story again with the new information that you have about how these characters have evolved, what kind of choices might you make?
Honestly, I think I would just probably make her I would lean more into her being Regine to the 100th power, because I feel like everything Aurora has done since then has just been exactly what she would do. So it's given high value auntie. She's deep in her Marc Jacobs tote bag at this point. It's given.
Yup.
She just bought her first cell phone. She finally decided to get a cell phone.
I see. I see it. I see it.
Yeah.
And also the drama with the sisters is very auntie too.
Yes. So
Family,
I
fuck my
would.
husband. Like it's
Okay. So I would, if anything, I would just lean more into those antics. Those are the only things. So I don't even know if they're even changes. They're just we're pushing the pedal all the way to the metal.
nice. Okay. All right. And then I read the Marvel Voices Pride story with great interest. Can you tell us more about your process on that creation and why you wanted to bring back the Nightshade code name to a new heroic character?
Okay. So for me, it was like, hey, mantles are things that people follow, but usually those are mantles of like they're prestigious mantles. It's Captain America. It's a
Mm.
Miss Marvel. It's even Black Panther. These are all mantles that people hold in high regard because of who has been behind them. But when I thought about Nightshade, she's always a character that's been intriguing to me. So I was like, why wouldn't she be worthy of a legacy? I think that she should be because a lot of what she did was either circumstantial or there was a lot more nuance for her just being evil for the fuck of it.
Yeah.
So, and thinking about all of that and knowing that I didn't want to create a character that would be a mutant. I love the mutants. Trust me, that's why I'm here. But like, I knew that there was drama happening, so I was like, let me steer my girl clear of that. And so I was like, I'm like, she too new. She don't need to get wrapped up in that. And the same thing with Wakanda. There's some stuff going on too. It's some turmoil. So I didn't want my girl to get caught up in that either.
Yeah.
So I just brought it back to Nightshade, and I was like, you know what? I want to do something a little bit different, and I want to do a mantle thing, but I don't want to do it like it's normally been done, like a Spider-Man or whatever. Like, let's give
Mm.
this villain who did she? I think she just had to pay her bills. Uh-oh.
What the fuck is that?
I don't
Hang on.
know. Like, are they
No,
about to go get you?
no, no, go. Nadia? Hey, Nadia.
Hey, did I get the time right?
Nadia, can I call you back? I'm recording with Steph. Do you want to say hi to Steph Williams?
Hi, Nadia.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Hey, Steph, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing awesome. Call me back. Have a good show.
All right, love. I'll speak to you in a bit.
Okay.
Bye, 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 bye. Mwah. Yeah.
I was so scared. I thought you were about to get picked up because of what we talked about off camera, and I was like, oh no.
Moving on. There's another question here, and I don't really know. I don't really know what to ask here. I really like Cecilia Reyes and want people to use her more in X books. I think she has a clear personality dynamic, cool power set, and interesting knowledge that would make her compelling on almost any cast of an X-Men book. But right now, she's sort of not. Um, yeah.
So like so I do have a Cecilia Reyes pitch actually.
Oh,
Like I want to say it, but like you know how you say things and then they don't happen. So just know that I do have one. It leans into all of the reasons why we love her.
mhm.
She is the star. It utilizes both her mutant power and the fact that she is a doctor, because we
Yeah.
gotta bring those two things together. And it also involves a mutant that she had one of her first interactions with, because I always thought that dynamic was very interesting and fun. If you are
Okay.
familiar with her, yeah,
Bobby?
huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
I that first night with them together, like there is something there that I think I want to expand on. But now looking at their relationship together now, presently, and how
Yes.
that stands. So yes, I have a pitch for Miss Reyes, or I'm sorry, Dr. Reyes. Let me not be disrespectful. I have a pitch for her that is sitting is very specific. And I know we want ongoings, but this one is, I just need 5 issues to do what I need to, leave it very succinct, adventure that we can look back on. It'll have ramifications for her in the future. But yes, I want to write some Dr. Reyes badly.
Okay. All right. Well, there, there we go. That is it. I'm just trying to move things back onto my AirPods in some way because
Yeah.
apparently it says that they're on, but they're not. So,
Oh
hello?
no. I mean,
Oh, there we go.
like your audio's coming through.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All
Okay.
right.
Yeah. No, that's the end of the letters for the flowers for Steph.
Oh, well, thank y'all. You definitely got a thug tear up out of me. So
Well,
thank you.
yeah. I mean, considering the question and the fact that we are going to talk about giving feedback to creators, I wanted that to be the first stop
Thank
of
you.
this conversation. And now for stop number 2. So I've got a couple of questions here that are all broadly underneath that umbrella. So tell me when to stop. I will circle the pen and give you a random question.
Stop.
Okay. How much does what happens on social media impact you off screen as a person and as a creator?
Okay. So now as it stands, because I am not as active as I was on social media, negatively. And it's not even anything coming at me, but
Mm,
sometimes just seeing different stories get torn to bits for reasons that aren't necessarily justifiable. And it's just, I
something
didn't like
bad
this.
happened?
Yeah.
A challenge was encountered?
Yeah, and it's just to kind of see
Yeah,
things get torn apart or whatever. It's as me as a creator, I'm like, well, I can't absorb this right now because I got to
yeah,
focus on my thing, and I can't be asking myself, am I doing this because it's what should happen in the story, or am I doing it because I'm afraid of how it will be received on social media? Like, I cannot worry about that. Because if I do, then it's going to affect everything. There's going to be a cascade effect, and like nobody's going to have a good time. I'm not going to have a good
yeah,
time. Y'all won't have a good time by the time this comes out because I'll be writing from a scared place. And I don't ever want to operate from that place when I'm writing. It's just not
yeah.
fun. Like, it's why are we creating? So those are the ways that it affects me offline. Online, not so much anymore because, like I said, like I'm not really there. Like I kind of pop in, pop out. Sometimes, I'll interact, but I keep my time on social media very limited. Again, to just kind of protect myself and my peace because I want to be
Mm,
able to tell the best stories that I can, but I can't tell them if I'm worried about conversations that have nothing to do with me, or even if they have something to do with me and I haven't been tagged directly, I don't need to know this. You didn't tag me, so I don't
yeah,
need to know, right?
yeah,
And I don't want to infringe on anybody's opinions or their feelings about whatever, because how you feel about a thing, that's how you feel about it. I don't need to interject on that. Like I don't
mm,
need to. I'm not somebody who searches their name online. Because why would you do that? Again, I wasn't tagged, and like I just don't need to see it. It was never meant for me to see. If it was, then I would have been tagged.
Listen, if Jesus wanted it in my life, it would arrive.
It would arrive. It would arrive in some way. So, but just like as a creative, like I
Sometimes
just
I say shit, I
learned
was like,
to
why the fuck did I say
no,
that?
but that was funny as hell because I'm gonna be using it. But no, because if it was meant, Jesus would have put it on my friend's step, but it was not there. So in order for me to still create in the way that I do, which is from more of a freeing place, I just kind
Yeah,
of just leave it alone. Even the positive stuff. I'm talking about positive, negative, in
okay,
between. Because even the positive stuff too, I don't want to get like see that and gas myself up so much. I'm like, oh well, then you know.
true,
You
true, true,
know
true.
that can also go in a way that just isn't good for the story or just for you as a creator. So
Yeah,
I try to limit it. If I'm in the middle of working on something after the thing is out, sure, I'm more open to like being online and seeing what's what. But like when I'm in the middle of making whatever it is, mm-mm.
mm. Yeah, because it must be quite hard to keep perspective as well, especially when you're
Yeah.
trying to. It's not even your perspective. You've got a perspective you're trying to shape.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm already got to keep myself out of this in a way.
Yeah,
So like, I definitely can't have other voices and whatnot coming in. Like, because am I writing this thing? Because like, would this character actually say this, or is this something that I don't know, people think that the character would say because the conversation's online, and 9 times out of 10, like that's not the same thing.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
it works, but a lot of times it doesn't. So just to kind of keep the voices at a minimum, because mine is enough, trust me. It's, Stephanie Central, it's a lot of yelling going on in there. I don't need to add to it. So
We've talked about the ADHD woes.
yeah, so we try to keep the thought train, one every 15 minutes, not one every 2 to 3 seconds.
And that is, I've heard creators say similar things as well, and it's I think it might be also a function of where different writers get put, because there is also an aspect of like learning that has to be in there. But I think
Yeah.
white male writers get more likely to be put as everybody's mouthpiece,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
so it's a tricky thing. Like I really don't envy having to play that line between learning and listening enough to be able to create a character that's so different from you, but also blocking out voices that would bias you or, like you said, spin
Yeah.
your field of view in one way or another.
It's such a tricky and difficult kind of game to play.
Yeah.
So far, I think I've gotten way better at playing it. And also like just being really a part of comics Twitter before even doing it professionally. Like I
Yes.
know
Yeah.
what
Yeah. Yeah.
pitfall,
Yeah.
like I know what to avoid because of that. So that helps. That was on the
Yeah.
other side. But sometimes I look back and I'm like, damn girl, like you was really giving them too much on this. And now you know that ain't really
Mm.
how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's even changed the way that I read comics too. So
Okay.
a lot has changed, yes.
How do you read comics now?
I don't read a ton of current stuff. Um, there's some current things that I will read, but even before this, I was reading a lot of older stuff. Like that's just where I am. But like current stuff, I don't read too much of that. Again, because I don't want to be playing a comparison game
Yeah.
either.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Now there's some stuff that I'm just gonna pick up no matter what. So if it's a Victor LaVelle thing, don't care, picking it up, reading it. Same thing with G. Willow Wilson. Same thing with Ram V.
Hmm.
Um, but for other things, unless I absolutely have to so that I can do my job, I probably won't. Or I'll wait till the trade is out and then I'll read it. But like reading monthly comics, no. I
Yeah.
just I
Yeah,
don't
trying to read
have
six
the
stories all at the same time every month would be a mess.
yeah, I'm like I just can't do it like that anymore. Even the stuff that's not even superhero related and it's like sci-fi thing that it like,
Yeah.
like aliens, I would say that the alien books are probably the only ones that I read every single month when they come out because that's something so
Wait,
very
alien.
alien, yes. So xenomorph. So this is I love that world now. That is actually
Yeah.
my dream project. So when people ask like, "And Marvel, like, you want to write Storm?" I absolutely do want to write Storm. However, I would love to write Storm versus a xenomorph because I want to see how that looks because that would just be really cool. But aliens in
Oof.
it by itself is what that's
You
my
want
pie in the sky.
you want
Yes,
that
I
woman
want to be in
stressed
space.
out. You want to stress
Oh
that
yes,
woman
I
out.
want to stress her the fuck out. Yes.
Do you know what? When you said it, all I could think of was a xenomorph in the old black costume with the
Hmm.
arm rings. And it gave a little bit.
Because you know
I'm not
what would
gonna
look cool?
lie.
Because what would look cool though is if Zorm, I mean not Zorm, well Zorm, Xenomorph Storm, were to like be a thing. She wouldn't be able to revert back, but like this would be an Elseworlds type story
Yeah.
where unfortunately Storm got, and now we have this Storm hybrid because they take on the physiology of whatever their host is, and I would
Yeah.
assume that the way that mutants work, they would take on whatever those power sets and everything are, like those abilities. I want to
So it's
see
brood.
it.
It's a better
Yeah.
brood.
Basically, so yeah, because low key, that's what the Brood is.
Yeah. Oh, true, true. But
Yeah, yeah,
I don't like the way
I
they
know.
are.
Yeah, that's why I just want to do a whole
Yeah.
another thing.
The
Yeah.
where the Brood feels like a Honda Accord.
Hmm.
Xenomorphs feel like a Bugatti. They're very
Yeah,
slick. They're very shiny. They look very
yeah.
aerodynamic. The Brood don't have that so much.
No. Can you imagine a xenomorph roster of not the original five, but we're talking about like your Storm, your Wolverine, your Nightcrawler, Cyclops,
We have
maybe
that.
even.
Do you know the twisted Nightcrawler from
Oh,
Dark
you're right.
X-Men?
Well, you're right. You're right. So, okay, so we've seen what that looks like, and I want to see more of that. So
You're
yes, I
so
want to
into it. You're
see.
so ready for it.
I like that's the type of thing I want to see because like the Storm story I want to tell is
Mhm.
I mean she got to go through some things. She'll come out of it. Absolutely, but I want to see her challenged in just a bit or taking another young mutant like Abina, you know, just a little something. But I want a Storm story that is in the fashion of Old Man Logan. That's kind of how I see.
Ooh,
Again, if Marvel had a thing that was kind
that's
of like a
nice.
black label prestige type whatever, that
Yeah,
would be like an Elseworld situation I would do.
that's nice. I like that.
Yeah. So now they probably won't ever happen because they're gonna see this and they're like, "Oh, girl, you ain't writing that." So
I'll
it's okay.
I'll bleep it out. Just know it was good.
Okay,
Just
thank
know it
you.
was good. Um, yeah, no, I've already written half of that book in my head now.
Yes,
Um,
I want to see
oh,
it.
okay, all right. Let's go to the next question. Let's go to the
Okay.
next question. Tell me one.
Now.
Same damn thing.
Oh,
Hang on. Next one. Just next one now.
okay.
How has being a creator changed your relationships to social media? I feel like you might have covered that already
Yeah, I
in the
think I
answer that you
covered
gave
it.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the best way to communicate with you? I'll just pick them now. The whole pen thing was fun for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Just pick them. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
best way to communicate with me is not to yell at me. I don't even yell at my child. So that's not the type of,
Mm,
that's not how we give critique in this house. So like I'm definitely not gonna take that either.
yep.
So don't yell at me. If we want to have a conversation, my email is always open, but I want you to ask yourself, why am I taking time out of my day? Not me, like you, the person asking this. Why are you taking time out of your day, effort, all of these things to hit me up? I hope that it is valid enough for you to reach out to me. Because little nitpicky stuff, I can't do anything with that. Like, are you coming
Mm,
with me with a critique or something that I can actually possibly do something about, right? But if it's
yeah.
something that's out of my control, because remember, I am a queer black woman in this space, so a lot of times I'm flying by the seat of my pants. Like I am here, she's clocking in for work and just trying to make it through the day. That's what it's given. For the most part, like I am just trying to survive and tell stories at the same time. And sometimes
Yeah.
it's not easy, but like I just hope that you are coming to me with something that is meaningful because I want to have meaningful conversations, right?
Yeah.
I want to hear you and I want you to be able to hear me and we can either agree to disagree or come to some type of solve. But the other thing too, are you coming with some type of solution? Because now you put more work on me for something that barely paid my light bill. So we being. So
Please,
so
please carry. Okay. Yes. Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. Like, there's a lot of bullshit. Like sometimes people come out of the side of their neck and they talk about things that no one can do anything about this. Like so
yeah.
much. I'm a big believer of people need to be better at just going, I don't like it. That's
And that's
it.
okay. Yeah.
It's
Just
fine. That's
leave it
fine.
at that. Yes. This is not Marvel related, but DC related. But it's relevant. For the DC Power story that I wrote, there's a whole story behind it. I won't share it at this moment, but we can talk about it offline. But the story that I was able to put together was Nubia and Bumblebee together. That was like the
Yeah.
most important thing to me, was to show these two black women working together, and they've never been on the page together.
Hmm.
Now, unfortunately, you got the Bumblebee version that I guess was introduced in DC Supergirl. So she's of lighter skin, but not really. Her hair is lighter. Therefore, she then looks lighter.
Hmm.
She's not even more than maybe a shade lighter than Nubia. When I did the comparison, they look like they're the same shade. It's just that her hair is lighter, so she looks lighter.
Hmm.
And I knew the moment I saw, like, I saw the pages, I was like, wow. So I'm in for not a good time, because people are going to get hung up on this, and rightfully so.
Hmm.
I'm not even knocking anybody for that, but it just sucked though, because instead of being able to focus on the story that I was somehow even able to get made with
Hmm.
Nubia and Bumblebee together, and like Mashur Malad thrown into the mix, that gets pretty much swept under the rug, because we were focused on Bumblebee being a lighter complexion than what she's normally been, but unfortunately a lighter complexion that has been canonized
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
DC superhero girls and other appearances that she's had. And the thing was, could I have pushed back on that? Absolutely. I did a little bit, but I've often learned that some stuff, unfortunately, no matter how much I want to push back, it's going to be that. So for
Yeah.
me, it was more important to have Bumblebee and Nubia hold space together than
Yeah.
to kind of worry, are they going to get this thing right? Because unfortunately, it had been canonized that she would look like that. So I couldn't even be like, what are y'all doing here? I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You know, because you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't even say, like, what are y'all doing here? Because
Because
she's
they
shown
have
up
their
in,
own references. They were like, this is what I'm doing. This.
yeah.
And like that's it's tricky as well, because I've seen a lot of people levy sort of reasonable critique at creators and be
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, and I feel like reasonable critique, when I think about it, is uh, specific. This particular issue, and then actionable. This particular issue is a problem, and I think you could rectify that by doing this in ongoing stories. Because sometimes when I hear people be like, oh, why is this like this? It's like, well, okay, we can say that we don't like it here, but we know that this was written like maybe 2, 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So really, everything has to be kind of forward facing. There's no way that, I mean, they're not going to be able to change the book in your hands now, but we
Yeah.
can tip forward and go, actually, for the future, there's this and this and this. And but when you do that, I think the onus then falls on the company, because it's different writers. People are tapping in and tapping out. So even if you say to someone, hey, the coloring wasn't right, or the characterization was a bit off, or this person is now cafe au lait, where they really have never been that before,
Yeah.
like by the time, like the issues that are coming have probably already been written and submitted, and the person you need to be talking to is some unknown next writer. And so I'm a big believer that there has to be like we have to jump up to the corporate oversight that is guiding everybody who tags in on this story,
Mm-hmm.
because writers and creators have loads of exposure with decisions that sometimes they're not even making. I don't believe for a second that writers get to walk in the door and go, I decide everybody who is on this team. Thank you, Marvel. Like I would like Wolverine. Like there are some characters that are such money drivers that they're going to be put on. Just it's like anything. It's like
It's
TV
a
shows.
business.
It's a business.
It's a business. Just like I mentioned with Nightshade and the mantle thing, I knew that
Mm,
if this character, when I created her, there was going to have to be some type of tie-in to another character for her to have make any value moving forward.
mhm.
Um, and but for me, I was like, well, it's going to have to be Nightshade, so y'all can either take that or leave it. But I did tie her to something or
Yeah.
someone
Okay.
who has like had is Captain America's a nemesis to him, and has shown up in many other things, and currently in the Sam Wilson book. So even with that, I bring that up because that is me thinking marketing wise, right?
Mm, mhm.
Um, But instead of grabbing the, the more obvious choices, I went another route. But with still that idea, marketing wise, in mind. For comics, it's a collaborative experience. So there is no way on earth anybody is able to come in and say, I mean, like, I want to do this, and like, we can't change anything. It's gonna
Yeah.
change,
Yeah.
whatever it is. But again, it's this kind of idea that I've learned to kind of pick your battles. So do I want to really fight and make a, big, a big whatever to do with this 8-page story, or do I want to kind of, you know, see if we can come to some type of compromise so that later on in the line, if I want to do, or if there's an option to do something longer, then I can push. Because that's going to be around for, 5 or 6 issues. That 8-page thing, people might remember it. They might even read it, but that might not happen. So I'd rather save all my energy for the bigger stuff. Now, sometimes I will fight for smaller stuff, for smaller things, but I've been learning that you got to kind of pick and choose your battles. Especially, again, hello. I can't just go around slinging my titties around and, being like, hey, like this has to happen. You gotta be smart. You really do. Because
I know.
it's a business. At the very end of the day, they have a bottom line. So
And that's the bottom line. Oh, I hate myself.
That's the black ass bottom line, right?
I hate myself. Okay. All right. Okay. So how does being a black woman inform your career experience?
Oh, it makes me, I would hope, a lot wiser because all industries kind of overlap in different things, the negative and the positive. I come from a STEM background, a scientist to be exact. So I've had to deal with different politics and how do I make my voice heard when people are just not looking to hear from me anyway. So that has informed how I move in the comics industry. I, you know, pay attention. I don't turn down gigs if I can help it, because sure, this 4-page little something is a blip and you miss it, but that's my opportunity to get better as a writer. I have to take every opportunity I can to continue to harness my craft. So I think that in itself, as a black woman, is just like, you got to do what you have to do, which is more times than not being twice as good to get half the thing. So I come in knowing that I'm going to have to be diplomatic sometimes when I don't want to. And that's simply because, I mean, that isn't that how we survive, unfortunately. Again, it's like, when, and there have been other times when I burned bridges and I knew that I was burning them and I knew I wasn't going to cross it again because it's just something that had to be done. But I think if anything, it's just made me a lot wiser, cautious, and knowing, when to give all of myself and when to kind of rein it back and like who gets what and who doesn't. So I feel like so far it's been working. So far, I hope it's been working. Because I think I've had something with my name on it come out every single month for the last year and a half, if not 2 years. And that's not just from making memes.
That's
thank you.
That's of itself.
That's not just from being funny and making memes. That's just being just business savvy and knowing why you're here and what it is that you're trying to get out of this.
And it's tricky as well because being on the marginalized side of this also, there's extra hurdles that you have to jump around because it's not like people like us are represented 90% of the place anyway. You've got loads of territory. You can just pick and choose and jump in this. If you walk in as a black queer woman and you want to write about that, even that is limited in terms of characters, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of like buy-in. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes, you got to learn, and that's the case where you got to learn how to finesse it. Again, figuring out like okay, if I present something this way, it probably isn't going to be received the way that I need it to. So
Hmm.
let me do a little Trojan horse action. Let me
Mm.
figure out another way to kind of make my thing happen. Now, I have been fortunate enough that almost everything I've worked on has been something I've been in alignment with.
Yeah.
And I haven't really had to bottle up who I am in order to do a thing. If anything, I've been reached out because of who I am to do the thing. So
Yes.
that has been great, but I think that's probably because I've set that tone early, and I make what it is that I want to do attractive in a way that allows folks to reach out to me and say, hey, you want to write this thing? I'm like, I absolutely do. Deadlines and
Yeah.
meeting them and being just a genuinely, just, I wouldn't even say good person. I would say like just decent person to work with is usually all it takes. And that's not even just the comic industry. I think that's across the board, right? I've worked
Yeah.
retail. A lot of time managers who I didn't want to work with is because they were absolutely terrible people to work
Yeah.
with. So I didn't
Yeah.
want to be on the schedule when they were. And I think that's just something that's across the board, just figuring out how to make yourself marketable when you can.
And you are. And
I try.
so yeah, I went on your website and it says, what did it say? I know why I'm here and it's only the beginning.
Oh
And I
yes,
was
it is
like,
only the beginning. Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, yeah,
Because I
I love it.
absolutely love comics. I'm going to
Yeah.
write them for as long as I can, but I also understand that just even as I am as a writer, that I'm going to want to be challenged in different ways. So,
Yeah.
getting into graphic novels, kid lit, um, you know, copy edit writing, all these things
Hmm.
because you know, you learn something here, it makes you a better writer there. I used to do these writing rooms for this company called Radish, and they do like it's mainly romance, but they do other stuff too. But we just got together, workshop these ideas. Somebody wrote it out, and then someone else would go and actually write out the chapters. But
Right.
I learned from that. Like I learned
Mm.
from that experience how to workshop ideas and how to like get better with my outlines and all of that. And it had nothing to do with comics, but it made me a stronger comic writer.
That's versatility and the ability to do loads of different things, I think is a hallmark of why I love your writing as well.
Thank you.
Because if there's like there's a flair to it. It's not, there are some people that I read and I go, this has been read. This has been written by this person because I know the voice.
Yeah,
And you've got a flair and a touch, but your voice is very flexible.
I
And
appreciate that. Thank you. Well, and I think that's too, I'm really happy that you told me that. Like, that means a lot because I don't want to just get called in February. I don't want to just get called on Juneteenth. And I'm
we don't even
learning.
have that one.
Okay, okay. So, right? So, with that being said,
Yeah.
I know that sometimes I'm going to write characters that look nothing like me. I don't know anything about their lived experience. I got to do some research. However, that does not mean that you shouldn't be able to pick that book up and know that I wrote it,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And I think being kind of malleable in that way, again, makes you marketable as a writer.
Yeah.
I had
100%.
bills to pay. I had a 7-year-old that is growing very quickly. I bought him, Kohl's Cash can only go so far.
They do that though. Sometimes they're disrespectful because you'll be 7 and you'll turn around and then you're 8.
Hmm.
And then
You
when did
turn
you
around,
get,
right? Hmm.
when?
He
The
grew so much over the summer. I'm like, I'm so happy I didn't buy your school clothes ahead of time because now you can't fit them. so,
Ooh, ooh.
so
Well,
with that
actually, so
said,
wait,
she
wait,
got
wait,
bills
wait.
to pay.
100% more than the light ones. But which which comics does your son read your comics? Which comics does he love?
So he hasn't really actually picked up to actually read any of them. However, he is always around when I'm in the process of working on them. So be it
Yeah.
actually scripting, when I'm going through the lettering pad, mask, which he always finds fun because you can see like the art with it and everything.
Yeah.
So I think the comic that he will for real read for the first time will be the Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur graphic novel, because that is something that we bonded over heavily when I got to watch the show before it came out. And he was like, "Why is your name like plastered on it vertically?" I'm like, "Because if mommy were to try to
Oh.
bootleg this, she's gonna get sued. So that's why it's like that." Also, you can't talk to nobody about this. You gotta keep your mouth shut.
You trusted a 7-year-old. You trusted a 7-year-old.
Listen, circle of trust. He didn't say a peep. He waited. My baby waited until I think it was like February. He was like, "I can finally talk about it." And I was like, "You sure can. So go ahead."
That is very sweet. That is very sweet.
He gets
every
it,
7-year-old I've met has told me every lick of their parents' business. Every lick of their parents' business in 15 seconds.
No, he'll still do that. It's just the worker stuff he won't, but everything else he'll absolutely spill our business all the way down. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give you the space to do that. So
yeah, it's like my mommy loves robbery and fraud.
Yes, it very much so. He will know all of that. But like that'll be the thing that I know he's read a little bit. Like he'll pay attention to him, but I think that'll be the thing that he's actually invested in. And even if he doesn't read my stuff, that's okay. I listen. No offense to it, mommy. Don't take. No, it's cool. Because he wants to talk to me about everything Mario all the time. And
Kirby.
Mario, Kirby, he's just now gotten into Sonic, so we're going through that. Sonic Boom, I don't know if there are any fans out there watching this, but I'm now a Sonic Boom fan. It's just very funny and chaotic in ways that I appreciate. But yeah, like it's been something that we've bonded over. He makes his own comics now, so and in fact, he sold some comics at GalaxyCon. Yeah, got a little comic book maker. He draws letters, writes the stories out, asks me to workshop stuff with him, all that. Yeah.
Not a writing family.
We might put a little something out together. Don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So talking about writing, what do you like? What's your dream? Give me your dream. Not bootleg, but like second string X characters, surprising X characters that you would love to write. Who's on the vision board still?
So Bling is still on the vision board. Of course, Cecilia Reyes, we talked about that.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to get hate for this, but Hank McCoy is still on there as well, as janky as he is. I'm so sorry. Please don't kick me off. Well, the island don't really exist like that no more, so I'm good. I mean, they all got to find somewhere else to be. So...
That's so dark side. So you wanted to say Beast and then that. Ooh, murky spirit.
Yeah, it's a murky. She gets a little dark. She does.
That's bad.
I still want to write some strong guy. So
what?
Big body.
Sorry, but really?
Yes.
Wait, Buki, ba.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Big body baddies.
Big body baddies. Sabretooth is still on that wish list. Juggernaut. So I'm about to out myself in a very terrible way, but you're gonna get this.
Worse than before?
Elections. Oh yeah. So when elections were going on.
Okay.
If I could have voted, I would have voted for Juggernaut. Not even because it's just to be chaotic. So I'm so sorry.
We've got to. What?
I know.
What? In a wait.
Just in a delicious way.
Frenzy was an option.
Frenzy.
Tempo was an option.
Mm-hmm. All of them.
Karma was. You had armor, and you would have Juggernaut. That's what you wanted.
Yeah.
Oof. I'm sorry to everybody who's watching. I'm sorry to everybody. I'm sorry that you had to find out in this way.
She is.
And look at you.
Yeah.
Look at you.
I'm very happy about it. I know.
You don't feel any type of way. You're looking dead in the camera. You were like,
I don't feel. It's giving Netflix doc is what I'm giving you right now. after the terrible thing that I did, which would have been voting for Juggernaut. Like this is a Netflix doc about me and my life in that way, and
Oh,
I'm giving you happiness.
oof. Okay, why?
There is no,
Juggernaut?
because he is just a big, goofy cider. Like I'm not even a mutant, but people sometimes, most of the time, like think that I am because I'm always giving them too much. And Charles is my stepbrother. And like I got this gem of Cyterac or whatever it is, and I'm just here. I'm here being big in your way. And I just want to write that.
There is something, now that you've got me thinking about it, a little bit inherently camp about Juggernaut.
So
Like
this upside down salad bowl helmet, right?
I say it looks like a douche.
It does. It
Like
absolutely does.
Water could come out of the holes. Like,
I'm just thinking about T.S. Madison. Just was.
Yeah, I didn't want to know. I didn't want to say it because I thought you might not know. But what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
I love that we like two proper like meme geeks.
Yeah. So y'all, please don't judge me too hard.
Okay.
A lot of times it's just I want to write this character because I just find them inadvertently, just unintentionally funny.
He does have like a big red jewel. Like he loves jewelry. He's got like the unnecessary metal bands, like a big muscle Mary in an ugly helmet who loves his ruby. And like, yeah, it does.
We can do a little something. Okay. We can fashion a little something unnecessary.
I'm sure you could.
Okay, I could. Yes, I will figure it out.
If you want on it, I might drop my coins on it, but it would not be because I want to read about any type of Juggernaut. I'm sorry,
absolutely not. No, and that's fair. He would be, and it wouldn't mean like a starring series. He would have to be like one of the characters in a mini.
Okay.
Because Magma with some melanin, is whom I would want to, play around with. I still want to write some rogue, Abina, Fauna, so Jellic, so my little kids that I put together for, Steve and I did for the Jubilee situation.
Yeah.
So, to be honest, I would just like to be given like the most random, like pick these characters out of the bag and then just say, hey, figure it out. I think I don't know, like with the X-Men or just the mutants in general, like that's the most fun thing. Like you get this toy bin like these action figures or whatever. They all look different. They all have these different power sets.
Yeah.
How can you make these 3, these 4, these 5 work together?
So I did an episode previously that was about the Hellfire X-Men team and saying everyone was like, it's so lopsided, it's so this. And I was like, that's why it's fun. I think the fact that it doesn't, like, there are these unwritten rules about like how teams have to be balanced. And you need a flyer, and you need a tank, and you need a telepath, and da-da-da-da-da. But some of the most fun books I've written, me writing, who? Lies. Some of the most fun books I've read, what am I talking about? That actually came out.
I don't think it came out for no reason at all. So
it came out smooth as hell. Like, it's like, that's not true. Some of the books that I've read, the most fun books I've read have been ones where you just gathered together characters that were just a hodgepodge. Like Executioners was fun because they could all do the same thing, so they had to write about something else. And that was interesting. And I don't know, maybe there's like art things of, you can't have 3 flyers on the team because then half your team is up in the sky and the other half is down on the ground and da-da-da-da-da. And they do like a splash page of like, but...
Now I want a situation with 2 tanks. They got to figure it out. How to finesse
the big body baddie agenda is you got to be a bit smoother with it. Like try and give us like you just dropped that straight in. You were like 7 tanks.
7 tanks. It works out.
All right, okay. All right, next question. Done that one. Done that one. What do you hope changes in the creator landscape or the fandom?
So in the creator landscape, I just like it to, of course, get more diverse.
Yep.
I am not somebody who is just like, oh, it's okay, because like I'm the only person in the room. That is never fun. So, no, I wanted to get more diverse. It just
Mm,
absolutely needs to. It's imperative that it does. In the fan landscape, I think in itself that has started to really change. I just would like to see more of marginalized fans being in the forefront of conversations, be it podcast, video like this, or just online period, TikTok, whatever. I just want to
yeah.
see more of that. And I have been able to see more of that because I actively look for it. So if anything,
Mm,
I want other fans to start actively looking if they aren't already for voices that are different than theirs. Because you'll be surprised. Somebody might get on your doggone nerves, but they might eat that one little thing up.
yeah. And I think the more black analysis there is, the more black critique there is, the more black creators there are, is the more robust we all are. Like,
Yes.
because even though, yeah, you can be black, you can be queer, you can be a woman, you can be this, you can be that, but you never see the totality of blackness. No, none of us do, it's only,
Yeah.
and that's the thing that I sometimes feel shortchanged in the most. Like I can go into comic book shops and see 700 flavors of whiteness. And there's only, because of the lack of opportunities, because of the lack of characters, you're locked into certain types,
Yeah.
and that's one of the reasons I love X-Men so much, is because it's such a huge ensemble cast. It's not like a book where there's a titular character where you either buy into that perspective and you buy into that voice, or you've got nothing else and other people get like two panels. There's a revolving cast. It's just like, how do we cycle them up in ways that
Yeah.
are authentic and give them writers that can really push them in ways that aren't speculative? Of like, oh, here's what I imagine a black, like, do you know what I mean? And that's,
I know
so
exactly
yeah, I
what you
hear you.
mean.
Mm.
Yeah. And also for those black voices to again be on books where it's not just black characters. Because
Mm,
I just
mm-hmm.
strongly feel like I mean, hell, even like this, again, this is not Marvel, but a Superman book written by a black woman is going to look vastly different than
Yes.
what we've seen before.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just diversity could help us in many ways. Behind the pages, on the pages, but I think we could see some characters that we never even thought of them that way, just simply because someone else is actually finally writing them.
100%. And actually, you've reminded me, I was meant to check in on that book because there was wait, wait, the
What?
new villain, the new Superman villain.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I don't have nothing to do with Marilyn. I was about to call her Mercedes Moon Knight. It is Marilyn Moonlight. That is her name.
You
I was leaving
you
the
made her
Beyonce concert.
you made her 15% more black.
Yes, absolutely. Mercedes Moonlight. Oh,
Yes.
yes. Okay. Mercedes is selling you a little, she is
You
selling
know
you sweat
the
tools. Yes. Okay. That is a side hustle.
yeah,
You want some personal
100%.
nails? She definitely got you. But she's also making Metropolis and Superman's life a living hell. And I fuck with
That's
that.
true. But she was riding the big horse, and I was like,
And I love that. But no,
Beyonce needs to catch a royalty for that, because I
she
feel like we're going to
does.
see a lot more black women on horses over the next
Yes,
5 years.
giving you the nice big church hat. I want to
Yeah,
see more than that. But I bring that up because I was leaving a Beyonce concert and like I was tagged to all these like congratulations. Didn't know that you were writing like you're writing the 6-issue mini for
yeah.
Marilyn Moonlight. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm so sorry to tell y'all this is not happening, but
I soon.
If it ever did, I'll take what Joshua Williams said, and hopefully Jamal Campbell could actually be the artist on that.
Ooh. Jamal
Mhm.
Campbell's art is so like it
Just everything.
smooth.
I
Like the finish of it, everything
it's
looks
just
like
so sleek. That would be my dream to work on a book that Jamal Campbell is like the main artist on.
and he throws a little black at everybody. And I like it.
hmm I do too.
Everyone got more lips than they would have naturally. It's like good. Don't turn it down. Don't turn it all the way down.
I would love to do like a Starfire mini
Yeah.
with him on the art. And I have a very specific
Oh.
story for Starfire as well, because I found a character that she had an interaction with when I was writing, what is this called? DC Universe Strange and Unsung Heroes, or whatever this book is that I wrote, that I should probably know the name for, and I don't.
Look,
But anyway,
when you're booked and busy, there's been
but I
many
put a
more
lot of care.
titles.
Yes, but I put a lot of care into it. But while
Yeah.
doing it, I came across a character that she had an interaction with, and I was like, "Ooh, this is
Mm.
juicy! Like, we can really spin a solid 5 or 6 issues out of this that would not only grow Starfire as a character, but
Yeah.
her sister and some other things. So, you know,
Okay. Well, don't. I've got 1,000 questions. I've got 1,000 questions, and I
I
have
know
to
you do.
resist
Yeah, you have to
everyone.
resist because I can't tell you nothing else. But yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. What else? What else have we got? I think that might be us. Oh no, no, no. This is a nice one to finish out on then. Um, okay, two. You can choose which one you like better. The first one is what do you wish readers knew, or alternately, who would you love to work with next?
Okay, what do I wish readers knew? Because I kind of said what I, okay. So
Okay.
what I wish readers knew, and damn, I kind of feel like y'all already know this. You just kind of ignore it. But
Ooh.
again, comics is a collaborative effort. So because it is,
Mm-hmm.
one decision, the likelihood that one person made it, it probably that wasn't the case. Are there instances where that is? Yes, but they are very few and far in between. So that is something that I wish readers would remember when it
Yeah.
comes to certain things. And just kind of keeping that in mind when it comes to either feedback or whatever. Just be mindful of who you're directing that energy towards because the easiest target is usually not the culprit.
Yes. Yes. Because there are so many things that people haven't decided, and I think because the writers and the artists are the most accessible,
hmm
people assume that they're the most responsible. But I
hmm
don't know whether that's always the case.
It's not
And
always.
there are certain things. I feel like there are certain things that writers should definitely hear.
Absolutely.
You hear
Absolutely.
that?
I'm not gonna, I ain't gonna hold y'all. Absolutely.
Yeah.
hmm
But there are other things where it's like, okay, now what? I think you could just simplify it by just going, boo. There we go. Because everything that you said is effectively a boo. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to say. It's just boo. So, okay.
Yeah. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Throw the
But
tomatoes.
I also think there's always a line, like that people are very, very, very keen to go back to artists and creators with their feedback or what they think or what their vibe is. And that's okay. But also, I don't know whether there's some of that stuff individuals can't fix, and I think
hmm
the nature of social itself, A, it's always asking you to have an opinion. B, you don't have a lot of space to make that opinion, so it can never be all that nuanced. And then
hmm
C, it's just people fire off without thinking, so it's bat, it's here, yeah, that. And sometimes just sitting with the question and be like, we know, for example, Bobby's skin tone changes it's on that bleach
It's like,
heavily.
is that his mutant power?
He's part-time, okay? He clocks in
Okay. He's
sometimes.
good. Okay.
That afro hyphen, they're serious about that hyphen. That's extreme. They want you to, is not connected to the main, okay? Removable. But talking to a singular artist about that isn't going to change anything, because that, even if that singular artist goes yes, or even if that particular team goes yes, we totally agree with you, they're not responsible unless the businesses, when it comes to anybody, when it comes to Nubia, when it comes to Storm's hair pattern, when it comes down to Bumblebee and how light Bumblebee is when it's Bobby, it's the companies that have to be making mandates. And really,
SOPs, standard
exactly,
operational practice. Yes, yes,
it
yes.
has to be that. And I think like, if if you're beating down the wrong door, it doesn't matter about the validity of the message.
Yeah,
And unless the companies are establishing some way to stand in between, I think, and like show the duty of care for writers, where they're like, there are some decisions that this creative team actually isn't responsible for or have any oversight over, that we can maybe take some of the feedback on. And right now, and no company, I don't see it from Image to Marvel to DC to Boom to nowhere. No one seems to be having a established company feedback line of like, here is where you can tell us what you think about the books. So you've got a bunch of people who have limited oversight, taking outsized, like outsized impact of a lot of
yeah.
the feedback of the books. I just think there could be definitely a more robust way to manage the fans and the creators as the business who is informing both of those groups.
Well, yes, and it's just that because before, like you write in a letter,
Mm,
social media didn't exist. So because social media has changed the landscape for many things, if you are both finding artists and creators via social media,
mm,
that's great, right? That's a perk. But social media has also created other challenges, that being one of them. So because of that, then yes, there absolutely needs to be some forward thinking of either how to mitigate that or just somewhere for that to go and for
yeah,
it to either be handled, but it cannot continue to be ignored because it's not going anywhere. It's just going to evolve as social media does. So then,
yeah,
things need to change a little bit. Because again, like someone isn't sitting down, getting out a notebook, a paper, right? And writing down whatever it is, getting an envelope, writing out the address to who to send it to,
you
putting
would
a
have to be
stamp on
mad as
it.
hell. You would have to be
People
mad as
probably still
hell.
do that, right? But like now, you can be mad as hell without much effort because all you got to do is pick up your phone. And
Yeah, yeah,
and I don't. And again, like I think that social media has had its perks because of the way that companies have been able to find other individuals that they never would have found before, myself
yeah,
included.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
also,
True.
there's that piece where because social media also has feedback,
Yep,
critique, hate, all of
yep.
that. How are we as a health company evolving to kind of account for this? So I think that's
Yes,
very
yes.
valid.
And there's also like a bottom line implication as well, because ultimately, like
Hmm.
any business in the world, it's going to be motivated by money. But if you leave it open season, where fans are getting increasingly fatigued by sending feedback that is not actioned or heard because you're telling it to the wrong people, and then you've got a creator infrastructure and a creator economy where they're taking outsized risk. And I've everybody's posted like a bum tweet and been like,
Hmm.
and imagine getting that. Like, that's enough to drive you out of your job. Like, that's enough to stop you doing it the same way you were doing it. So I think there's bottom line implications for this as well. You leave this unchecked and you're going to disincentivize writers from either promoting the books at a really viable channel, or you're going to
I
like exhaust readers too.
And I feel like we've seen I feel like those things have already happened or are currently
Mm,
happening. I can even say for myself sometimes it's just like, ooh, like, do I want to promote this one thing? Because I know if
yeah.
I do, because I know that there is a problem that
Mm,
happened with this thing, and that's going to be the focus. I don't want to put myself out on the shopping block as easily, someone that somebody can reach out to because I've been promoting this thing that I know. that
Yeah.
because of this one little thing, there's going to be a problem with. So like, listen, I'm aware of it. There's certain stuff that I will push harder than others for very specific reasons, some of those being that. Another thing is where I'm just like, well, I really don't care. I'm going to talk about this anyway and promote it, and whatever, it's going to be backlash, just whatever feedback, be it negative or positive, then I can handle
Yeah.
it, right? It's done. It's over with. So things are changing and like we need to see like how how these companies are trying to keep up with this. So I hope at some point like something can really be done, because you're gonna miss out on a lot of voices simply because people are like, you know what, this ain't enough to pay my light bill, this ain't
Yeah.
enough to
We keep going back
deal
to the
with,
light.
because the light bill
That
been high
hurt
as
you.
hell.
That this
This
pain.
summer, yeah.
This is
I'm like,
trauma.
okay, you give me too much, and now this barely paid that. Okay.
Okay. All right. So, Steph, to close us up, because I am quickly losing the light.
Yes.
And I started in the daytime, and
You
now,
did. Yes. Okay.
yeah. I'm dark skinned. I need to be pay close attention to the lighting situation. Please, I can't. Anyway, so thank you for being here. I will close you out by asking you. Fine then. If we had to give you your peak big body baddie, which one is it?
My apocalypse.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfection. For a second, I thought you were going to say Beast. I did not know what I was going to do.
No. I was gonna say Colossus, but I was like, no, we could go apocalypse. Let's dream
So
big.
thank you.
Yes.
And with that, thank you for joining me for an amazing talk.
Yeah.
Through so much. It's always a pleasure to speak to you, and it's been a pleasure
Thank you.
again to speak to you.
Well, thank you for having me.
Anytime. Big love from me, big love from everyone else.
Yeah.
And we will continue to stand you highly.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. I've been Ash in the dark, in the woods. And this has been Immortal X of Words.
Bye, y'all.